Today's episode is all about Jack, 20-pound terror. Hey, Jack. Hey, Jack.
Denise Mazzola is a certified professional dog trainer with over 20 years experience training dogs and people. If you've got a doggy dilemma, Denise can help.
Today we're going to meet Mary and Robert Coates and their cute little dog named Jack. Don't let his cuteness fool you. He's a 20-pound terror. He's got quite a rap sheet. So let's go in, meet the family, and see how we can help them.
Good morning.
Good morning. Jeez. So, tell me a little bit about Jack here. I know he's 2.5. He's a pug terrier. Do we know what kind of terrier mix?
Pug terrier and Pomeranian.
Pug terrier Pomeranian. Okay. Okay.
We don't know what kind of terrier, but since he jumps a lot, we're thinking he's probably Jack Russell.
Okay. And how did you get to, have you had him since he was a puppy?
Yes.
He was a few months old when we got him.
Yeah, my daughter got him.
Yeah.
My daughter got him for her birthday. Somebody gave him to her because
As an 8-week-old puppy?
Yeah, he lost his job and he couldn't take care of the dog, so Amber took the dog.
Okay.
Amber used to live here up until last
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so Jack came here. He came here to stay.
Okay,
She
so
couldn't-
Jack stayed and she moved back.
Yeah,
around.
she couldn't take, she had a Pomeranian herself and she couldn't
Still does.
take both dogs where she was going to. So she left
Okay.
in order for Jack not to go into a shelter or a home or something.
Yep.
He
We
he
get
stayed
Jack.
here with us.
Okay, so he's 2.5 and you had him when he was about
Probably 8 weeks. He was real little.
8 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. And does he always do this to you?
Yes.
If you tell him to knock it off or something, will he stop or not?
Sometimes.
For me, he's pretty good. Yeah, he'll stop.
Okay. All right, so you've had him since he was a puppy, basically. And let's kind of outline the behaviors because there's been a lot happening. There's a lot of behaviors, and then we'll prioritize so I can address them in the order that is most important to you.
Okay, if you come through that door,
Right.
doesn't matter who you are, he'll attack the door, he'll attack you,
Okay.
okay, and it's the front door. Somebody dropping off a key, because we do the meeting house thing, he will claw at that door, and he knows by the sound of your car that you're coming here. He'll go from this thing to this thing to this thing. He'll even try to go out the window, but he hasn't done that yet.
Okay.
But it's an issue with anybody who comes here.
Okay.
Okay.
Doesn't matter, man or woman's pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. He knows my daughter and her husband and baby when they come, and he does not tend to do that with them.
Okay.
Okay. He knows the sound of their car, so that he knows it's them, and he knows that
Stop.
they're okay.
Stop.
Okay.
And so he barks, but he doesn't carry
Yes,
on or
yes,
become
he
aggressive.
really gets excited,
Okay.
but he won't bite him.
Okay.
He'll bite you.
All right. And how about this? Does he always? I mean, are you playing with them, or is he choosing to chew on your hand?
It's more of a play.
Okay.
Yeah, he doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
And then sometimes he'll do that for a minute or two, and then he'll just lick your hand, you know.
Okay.
Him and Molly, our pit bull we used to have, that's how they used to play. Jack and Molly used to play with the mouse. So when Molly passed away, we became Jack's playmates.
Right.
Hey.
Okay.
And
So is it anything
Okay.
you want to address? I mean, it's okay for dogs to play with their mouths with each other, but it's not something I would encourage a dog to do to you.
Okay, stop. No. No.
Yeah, actually, yeah, because he's going to start doing this with Addison. Addison's 10 months. And when
Right.
she gets small, when she gets old, yes.
Right, he's not going to be able to
Yes.
distinguish between
Right,
my hands are
right.
okay and your hands
Yes,
are not.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What else do we have? We put the cat away because you were afraid something was going to happen between him and the cat?
Jack and Speedy will have a tendency to go at it. It's jealousy. Speedy will want the attention. Jack's not going to want Speedy to have the attention. Speedy will probably go after Jack.
Okay.
And Jack and Speedy will go after each other.
So does Jack defer to Speedy if he starts to go after him?
Lots of times he'll back down. Lots of times he won't. I mean,
Yeah.
depends on, they're both strong-willed. Speedy
But he
loves
doesn't-
people.
He doesn't go after Speedy to hurt her.
No.
He'll go and he'll play with Speedy and then Speedy will sometimes she'll be okay with it and then sometimes she won't. And then
don't bother me.
she'll bat him a couple times and because she doesn't have any claws, so
Okay.
But she will bite
she'll
him.
let him know that she doesn't want to play no more.
Okay. Okay. And what other issues do we have?
Walking.
right,
I'm
walking
pretty good with Jack for the most part. But if a car from the hill, he knows the cars from the hill. He'll go after them.
On leash.
On the leash.
Okay.
He'll
Yeah.
run after them. He will do that even if I'm at the corner of Elm and Court. That's one of these cars that come and I wave to him because I know the car and I know the person. He'll dart out. Now, he doesn't know your car, and he is probably not going to do that to you because he doesn't know you. So most
So
times I'm fine.
he doesn't chase all cars, but some cars.
Right.
Right, and he has his moments. He will chase the UPS guy and the FedEx guy. Yeah, that's a definite. He'll go after them, and any loud type things. Even not loud. People on a bike. We have kids like to skateboard. And they go down the hill, and he'll see him. He'll go from one to the next, and if we encounter him on the hill, he wants to go after him.
Okay.
I would like to be able to walk him out back without a leash, but I can't. Okay, Molly, I could.
Okay.
He has no commands, except for he knows this command. He can be over here.
So you mean out back here, you'd like to be able to let him out and
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
him come back to you?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
And what does he do now? Run away?
He'll run away. I mean, if there's a little kid there who's walking in back of those woods, he'll go after the little kid. He'll tackle
We've
him.
never actually let him go
No.
by himself
We don't
anyway.
trust him.
He's gotten out the front door before on us
he goes-
on
he
the
goes
leash.
run.
One time on the leash. One time he went out without the leash on. He squeezed out the door and he went across the street to the house over there, and I had to go running after him to get him. He'd gone out
Coax
back
him.
of the house. But,
Okay.
Come back.
Okay.
And Molly wouldn't do that. You tell Molly,
yeah.
to come.
Hey, stop!
Come.
No,
I
stop!
could walk Molly out in the woods
Stop!
without a leash. Encounter people. I would
Stop.
have the leash just in case, there's other dogs, but Molly was very good. She'd come back. And
Cut it out.
Right. So do we have a chew toy or something he can chew on? Is this his
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
over here?
that's his stuff. He likes
Let's try to get him something.
Bippies and he likes his ball. Oh, Jackie.
It's his favorite. This is
Yeah, that was so funny.
this is Bippy.
That's Bippy.
All right.
We did not name it his baby because we were having a grandbaby coming, so that's Bips.
Okay.
Bips is actually a
Come here.
moose. Used to be.
Good. Right.
He
So.
loves Bippy.
Okay. So then you were, Mary, you were saying something that it's quite a chore to get out the door in the morning to work. And
Oh, yeah.
and what happens then?
Well, it starts when he knows that I'm going to work.
And what
he'll
part
pull
of your
pants leg.
what part of your getting ready process does he understand it's a work day? Have you been able
He
to?
understands that I'm going to leave. He just knows
Right.
that I'm going to leave, and it'll start when I'm going down the stairs when he knows that I'm going out the door. So what I usually do, I go.
And
down.
only to you, not to you,
No,
Robert?
He does to him too.
Okay.
And there's a territorial issue. If he comes into my territory,
Robert.
Will attack him. If I go into Bob's territory and start, going like this with the hands and talk to Bob, he'll attack me.
Okay.
And if he's sitting on this chair, and if I go to...
If Bob is sitting on the chair?
Yeah,
Okay.
Bob is sitting on a chair, if I go want to pat Jack, he'll bite me.
Okay.
And he'll do the same thing if this is my rocker, okay?
This is where you sit.
I sit there, and if Bob were to do the same thing to me,
okay,
he'll attack him. But the process of getting out in the morning is like trying to get out this door. He will pull the pants leg. He won't bite me, but he'll pull the pants leg, like, just similar to what he was doing there. He'll do that.
And he won't necessarily bite her if she comes over to the chair if I'm sitting there and Jack is sitting there with me. But he might growl at her, or back maybe, but he won't actually bite her.
But I don't have him today because I didn't want to spoil him, but I have treats. Yeah, you must know that vehicle. I have treats that I shoot on the floor so that I can get out the door.
Okay. Wow. You guys have a boatload of issues in a tiny little package. I'm not going to give you any quick fix. I'm going to give you a lot of things that need to happen. One of the primary things that I notice in Jack is he knows no English. He's like the German man living with you. He can do whatever the heck he wants. And we're all sort of at his beck and call. And he might bite us if we do certain things. So now we're sort of even more limited, right? That's why I brought a leash in case we needed it for him. Because I don't want to have to reach and pull him off. He's also making any choice, any decision, he's making all of them. I want to get on the couch, I get on the couch. I want to get on the chair, I get on the chair. I want to look out the window, I look out the window. And if you were a bigger dog, that wouldn't be tolerated, right? I mean, I don't know how big Molly was, but was she free to get on things, or was she more on the floor?
She's more on the floor.
She used to like to get on the sofa when we'd tell her to get off, and she would know that she had done wrong, so
she'd get off. Okay.
Molly had her own sofa. It's upstairs. Well, we still have it. It's upstairs a lot. That's her very own sofa. Jack won't go on that sofa. I don't know if it's because of Molly's scent or whatever.
Just an old sofa that she used to sleep on.
Tends to stay off it too.
Is it by a window?
No.
No, it's probably why.
It's under the eaves.
Yeah, you probably can't see anything.
So
why go up there and sleep in the dark when you can be down here?
That was Molly's. Molly liked to be with people, so Molly slept on the sofa.
And this is very interesting that since you brought this toy down, he's been very engaged in the toy. He's laying on the floor.
He loves Bips.
Yeah, it's my guess is he may have been. I mean, there's a lot. We're never going to really know, but just the way he's carrying this around and holding it in his mouth so contently. He's all getting a little sleepy. His eyes are, sort of closing a little bit, and it's the most relaxed I've seen him since I've arrived. He may have been removed from his litter too soon. He may have been removed from nursing too soon, which has effects on dogs. We don't know. His initial history is a little unsure, but I think, as I said to you at the canine casting call, he's funny because he's turning his head and he's closing his eyes a little bit, but he's not going to let go. Does he always sleep with this thing?
He carries Bippies all around, but Bippies happened after Molly passed away.
Okay.
This became his toy. And Jackie sleeps with me, don't you, Jack?
Okay.
He chose me.
Yep.
Yes.
When he goes in the car, he loves to ride in the car. I take him wherever I go, just about. And I can leave the window down, he's fine. But then sometimes he'll go and we can be stopped at a stop sign and he'll see a jogger go by or somebody walking by, and then just out of clear blue sky, he'll get up and he'll start backing at him.
Okay. He's very, he gets overstimulated very quickly by visual things, by sounds. He stopped chewing when he heard something outside and checked it out, and then he had to jump on the chair and check it out some more. And all those things seem to go, he can go from, he's not even ever at 0, so he goes from like 5 to 15 pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And then he seems to have a hard time coming back off of that high arousal. So, if this dog were to come to my house, I would probably keep him on a leash all the time so that I could control what he was doing and what he wasn't doing. And I would give him what I would call boot camp. He doesn't get to make any choices. He's making way too many decisions. He wants to come up, everybody picks him up. And why? It's always amazing to me that a dog that has, how many times would you say he's bitten you? Too many to count?
Yeah, mostly it's in play. I mean,
Well, it doesn't sound like it when you're trying to get to Bob on the chair and he's
Yeah.
growling and carrying on and trying to get out the door.
probably every time if I went over there, he would do it.
What, bit you?
Yeah, he'd go and get me.
Okay, and have you been bitten by him?
Not actually bitten, no.
Growled at?
Oh yeah.
Growled out, yeah,
Okay.
numerous
The misses?
times.
Do you feel like he's missed you? Like he's tried but not gotten to you?
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So what's interesting is here we have this little 20-pound, 25-pound dog who's really controlling everything in the house, because you can't help but change your behavior when you feel threatened by something, including your own dog. And you know, nobody, you know, if Bob, if you went and sat in the chair, I certainly wouldn't go and test him to see, right? I mean, you just want to avoid it. Your evolutionary process says avoid the danger. So you've all probably had some type of behavior change to try to minimize his reactivity and aggression. And so we need to sort of reprogram everything here. There's no question about it. And the first thing that has to happen is you guys need to be very consistent and change some of your behavior so his behavior will change. So I'm going to give you what I would do at my house, and then you're just going to have to decide what you can do here, what will feel okay for you guys. But I wouldn't allow him on the couch with me unless he sat for me and I invited him up. But he torpedoes around here, torpedoes on all of these things, and then, you know, how can we get him off? Right? You've tried the squirt gun and he redirects his frustration. And that's that going from, you know, 5 to 15 quickly. He's barking, barking, barking. And then you spray him, which, you know, in theory should interrupt the behavior and get him to do something else. But then, again, we don't have anything else to have him to do because he doesn't know any other English. Right? I mean, he wouldn't even sit on stage. He rolled on the treat. So then that frustration that he's feeling at the window or at the door, feels perfectly fine to take it out on you, right? And just, we're not going to personalize that, but it's just the nearest thing he'll go for. If the cat's around during one of these high arousal states, does he go after the cat?
Yeah. Whoops, sorry, yes, he will.
He will go after the cat. So he'll redirect onto the cat.
sometimes, yeah, not all the time.
Okay.
But
And that whole unpredictable piece makes the whole situation exponentially worse. If it was
sometimes
always...
He's very
Right.
good. There's a 99% of the time, he's not.
Right.
That 1% of the time, I know Jackie can be a good boy.
Right, right. So I'm just going to show you. Now, do you normally have him on his harness or on
Yeah, I
his
usually
collar?
have him on this and with the
Now, before,
retractable.
you like to cheese.
Yeah, he likes cheese.
See if he likes that cheese. No. The other thing that we have to do is we're going to have to wake up his brain and teach him some things, and that's going to take some time, only because he's a challenge. So you
Yeah,
like that.
I can shoot him a ball or something. He'll go get it, but he won't release it. Molly would release it. If you say release with Molly and snap her fingers, he would.
Right.
She would do that.
Right. So I'm going to have you put this on his harness for me. So, and I would suggest you get some sort of cheap leash just like that, so
Yeah,
that
we had some, but I gave them away because they were Molly's. I do keep Molly's stuff, but
Okay. So here's the things you're going to do. I'd like you to feed him in the morning at however you want to do that. Excuse me. If he doesn't eat it in 30 minutes, you're going to remove the food.
okay.
You're going to pick it up and put it away until the evening meal comes along. Because leaving a bowl of food out for a dog with this number of issues is very similar to just leaving the carcass out and he gets to choose whenever he wants to go back and eat. And he doesn't need you guys for that.
Okay.
You're not important to him in that way. And I want to build up your importance and have him start to listen. So it's not going to be easy because he's 2.5 years old and he's been doing this for a couple of years at least.
And what do we do about the cat's food? We pick that up and
Where's your cat fed now?
right over by the slider.
Okay.
We were feeding the cat on the dryer.
I would feed her, if you can, I'd feed her up.
Yeah.
Cats are natural grazers. I don't want to
Yeah.
change her feeding pattern whatsoever. But so if her food can go up on a dryer or something, that would be great.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So I want you to change how you feed him so that you become the source of food for him. I'm not going to change where he sleeps. I sleep with my little dog, although you might want to, has he ever been in a crate?
Yes.
Do you still have the crate?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And will he sleep in the crate? Why are we not?
Jack doesn't really like be enclosed. He has issues with being enclosed.
Because he barks and carries on?
Yeah, he does not like being...
That's true, because sometimes if we have someone come to the house and we don't want Jack climbing all over him or jumping all over him, we'll put Jack maybe in the bathroom or upstairs in one of the bedrooms or something like that, and he'll go crazy. I don't think it's not only because he wants to get out, because he wants to get out, see who's here, because somebody's at the house, but he doesn't like to be enclosed.
He doesn't like to be not where he wants to be. I don't think it has any...
That's true, too,
My Boston Terrier,
Yeah.
I will put in a bedroom or a bathroom if certain dogs are coming to the house, and she reacts the same way. But it has nothing to do with being enclosed. It has the fact that I've sequestered her someplace else, and there's a barrier. So he has a high level of frustration. Again, just zooms right up there to top speed very quickly, gets very overstimulated very quickly, and then he has a hard time coming down, and we can't talk to him. We can't tell him to sit. We can't tell him to lie down. And so, again, if he were at a boot camp at my house, he'd be crated. If I weren't home, he would be crated, because when you're not home, he's practicing all this stuff.
Yeah.
All the time. He's practicing. And any behavior that you want to stop happening in a dog, the number one thing you need to do is prevent it from happening. Because it's just like anything else. Jumping and barking at the window is a behavior, and he practices it, I don't know, how many times a day? 5 times a day? 3 times a day?
All the time.
More than that.
More than that. Okay, more than that. So it's a fine-tuned behavior, right? We need him to practice the sits, the downs, the come when called, the leave it's, and those would just be the basic commands that I would teach him, so that hopefully we could call him away from the window over time. But he has to stop getting this natural reinforcement for it, which is occurring all the time. So you could put him in the bedroom if there's no windows. You have a very lovely house, and that on the casting call I mentioned this stuff that you can get at Home Depot that's like a film on your windows. I've purchased some, but I haven't put it on my windows yet either. But he'd still hear what was happening, right? But he wouldn't, if he jumped on the chair, he wouldn't see out the windows, but you guys could still have the light come in, and you'd still be able to see out the top of your windows.
Okay, yeah, he would. I close the blinds and the drapes at night, and he still will go from that to that, especially if you're in my yard, dropping off the key. Yeah, he will still do that.
Okay.
Trying to
and so even when you drop those blinds,
Yeah.
does he dig at them, or he just stands there and barks at them?
I have rearranged the furniture so he wouldn't be. The sofa used to be over here. Yes, he would. He would go trying to get whatever is
Okay.
out
So
that blind.
So he'll probably.
So
It'll be minimal then. You could experiment on one window and see how much difference it makes with him, whether it reduces his reaction or not. But my preference would be that he's crated when you're not home, and you can put a nice soft bed. You can make the crate a little bit bigger. I usually cover the crates because dogs do like to have nesting places. I mean, it brings out their natural denning instinct.
Yeah, he has a blanket upstairs. He likes to underneath it.
Yeah, he could be in a crate in your room even. I mean, it doesn't matter where. But so that during the day, he's not practicing all this high arousal stuff. Once you start to change how he's fed, then I think the training is going to be a little bit easier, because you'll be able to control when he's hungry and when he's not. We're not going to use any adversives. I'm not going to put a choker on him. He's going to probably bite the heck out of me if I did anyway, because he's very clear about what he wants to have happen and what he doesn't want to have happen. So there's just no point in doing that. I want to try to show you how we would lure him into a sit, which we did a little bit on the stage, but not very successfully with the whole rolling on the treat. How that could then be taught into luring into the down. And it's nice when he does it on his own. We can also try to reinforce that, but I suspect that if I get up, he's going to get up. All that motion. So once, do you feel like you're going to be okay putting the food down and picking it up?
Yeah.
Yep, not going to have a problem with that? Okay, some people go, oh my God, I don't think I can do that. So, all right. So you're going to hold. I'm just going to go through the motions. I don't think he's going to be successful today. And he's never had to work for anything.
No.
Right? So now we're asking him to work for stuff. That's going to be a whole new ball game for him. And it's...
I don't know. When I take him for walks, he works pretty hard before he gets that treat that's in my pocket.
And what is he doing for the treat?
He's not running after cars. I say, good boy, no cars, no
Okay.
cars. I mean, that's good. I mean, he has his limits. Once he reaches this hill, it's like,
Okay.
we got to hold on to you, Jackie.
Right.
Two-handed. Somebody waves to me. Most times I'm not going to wave to you because I need two hands to control.
Now, as far as the food goes, if she picks it up in the morning, say she leaves for work around 7 or so, and then because I work second shift, I get up around 8:30, and I come downstairs and have coffee, and have some breakfast, and I go upstairs, take my shower around 10 or so. When should we put the food back down for him?
I wouldn't.
No.
No.
Maybe
One-time
at
deal.
lunchtime?
No, put it down at dinner.
Just at supper
not.
time?
Yeah.
That's all I feed him is breakfast and dinner because I'm not home.
But
Right,
his
but
food
he's
is there, though.
but he's choosing when he wants to eat
Yeah,
it.
his food
I would
is
feed
there.
him in the
He can eat
morning.
anytime he wants to.
If you want to change it and have you feed him and not Mary feed him, that's up to you guys. But the food should be offered once in the morning. You're going to pick it up and offered once in the evening and then pick it up. And I wouldn't give him any more than 30 minutes to eat it because he's either going to or he's not. And he's not going to starve himself, right? He's going to eat at some point, but it could take him 3 days, maybe 4 tops would be my guess for him to understand the new rules of the food. Oh, it's only here for a little while. I better eat it when it's here. Plus, he's going to be getting hungrier and hungrier because he's going to make decisions on eating it or not eating it.
He's very good with me at supper because I eat alone at supper, and if I eat him and the cat, I usually try to feed them, but there's times I don't feed them until after I get done because they get the scraps. But
Yep, that's fine.
He'll sit on the carpet and he'll wait. He won't beg, but he'll wait for it
Right.
patiently. He knows he's going to get it, but he'll wait patiently. The cat will too.
Right. So what I'm trying to do with this piece of cheese, right, he can lick it and just get little pieces while he tips his head up. And I really want to throw him off balance and watch his hind end to see if it's going to go down at all. Now, I'm not going to reach around and push on his butt, and that's also going to elicit oppositional reflex, which means when I push on you, you push back on me. So then we end up fighting his instinct, which is to move into pressure, which isn't very helpful. So this could take, let me see, it took my Boston Terrier about 5 days to learn to lie down. It took her a couple of days to learn to sit. So we're going to have to be very patient when we do this. Good boy.
Yeah, I saw you doing that at the.
Yep, and some dogs did it much quicker. So he's thinking about it. He's picked his foot up a little bit. He can back up. Sometimes if we can move him to a wall. And it also depends on how bad he wants what I have. But I'm also requiring him to think now, which he doesn't do. He's living, ooh, so close. He is living in what I call doggy lizard brain all the time. He's reacting, he's barking, he's reacting. He's just in lizard brain constantly. Whereas if you were to see my dog Thor, so I'm not going to give anything for jumping on me, who has been trained since he was a puppy, he's what? I don't know, 80% of the time he's just being a dog, right? But when I ask him to do something or I say his name, he's like, oh, yep, what's happening? What can I do for you? Because he learned how to learn, and he's learned so many behaviors that to him, it's much more worthwhile to pay attention to me, to follow me around, because I might ask for something and he might get a reinforcement for it. Now, he certainly doesn't need things for basic behaviors. but we need to wake up this guy's brain, the front of his brain, his operant brain, so he can start sort of being with us in the world instead of just reacting to his world. Sometimes I recommend seeing a veterinarian that I know in Nashua for meds, but I'm not sure that that's his problem, which would be if he were so anxious that life were really tough for him. He seems to have a little bit of anxiety, but he just also seems to be he's sort of in control and out of control at the same time, right? This is him saying, give that to me. Don't do it. No, don't do anything. Just give it to me, right? Because that always works for him. And I'm saying, no, I'm not going to have it. So we'll see if he decides to get off. Good boy. So I give him a little piece just for getting off the couch. So dogs learn in two primary ways. One is by association. That when I walk into the vet's office, it's not necessarily a safe place for him to be, right? Because he gets poked and prodded and shots and things like that. Which is why most dogs, when they go back to the vets, really?
He does that sometimes.
I know. I gave you a little. Calm down. So the association at the vet's office is not terribly safe for me. When your daughter comes over, that's safe for him. So there's also associations of what works and what doesn't work, what's good. He's probably not a counter surfer, but associative learning can be in the positive or in the negative.
Does he get up on the counter and walk the counter? Oh, yeah, he does that.
Oh, he does? Oh, wow. Well, you are really a bad, bad boy. So does he get on a chair and on the counter? Or does he just get on the counter?
Oh, he usually gets on me and I put him on the counter. He walks around.
Oh, you put him on the counter.
Yeah, he can't get on the counter by himself.
And what's the purpose of putting him on the counter?
Because he's so short, he wants to see what's up there, what you're doing. He's got to be watching what you're doing.
No. No. I'm telling you, don't do that.
Okay.
He does not need to be on the counter. No, he wants your food or whatever you're doing.
Oh, no, he wants to see what you're doing.
Yeah, but he's a dog.
Because most times I don't have any food on the counter. He wants to see what I'm doing.
So you're sort of enabling him to do some of that.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm not sure how easy it's going to be to get you to change your behavior, but that has to stop. He's a dog. He belongs on the floor. He does not belong on the counters. He does not need to see what everything's going on. He should be perfectly happy laying somewhere on a dog bed or on that mat over there and just hanging out with you. He does not need to be in the thick of things all the time. Good. So let him do that, but no, he's not going to get on the counter.
Favorite thing is right in front of the stove when I'm cooking. Get away.
Yep. All right, so let's try this one more time. And this is going to be, and then I'm going to have you guys try it, just so you can get the feeling. So he can lick and nibble, but I'm not going to, so the reason is he doesn't know what I'm asking. And if I just lure it and don't give him anything, he's going to give up and go away because it's going to be too difficult. Start again. So the other ways that dogs learn is by consequence, and this is what I'm doing now is by consequence. So he's trying other things, which is nice, right? He's starting to jump a little bit. What I'm waiting for is the butt to go down, not for the jump.
So you're just letting them lick it a little bit and just take little pieces?
Yep, to keep him interested because he has no idea what I'm asking him to do.
Yeah. And
his jumping and kind of pawing he's going to get frustrated because he's not getting the, yes, good boy. What a good boy. And I'm going to give him that whole piece. And if he keeps his butt on the floor, I'm going to let him have this whole piece, right? I want to give him a big payment. Good boy. That's a good boy. So I can reinforce him with my tone of voice. And I gave him 2 pieces of cheese. So while he's working at it, he's getting little nibbles, little licks, little nibbles. But the jackpot comes when his butt hits the floor. You need to make that contrast for him, okay? We're not going to say anything. We're not going to say sit because it has no meaning, and he still doesn't really understand what we're looking for him to do. So I'll try one more time. So here's consequential learning. This will get him nothing. 1, 2, 3. Getting his feet off me and on the floor. He needs to respect. I demand respect from dogs. I don't let them get away with stuff. Like I haven't reached down to pat him. I'm not giving him eye contact. And I don't want him crawling all over me. I don't want him in my space. Have you ever heard that, like, this is my dance space? Right? And that's your dance space. And I expect him to stay out of my space or to yield to it. So, there he goes. Good boy. So again, we're not going to label it. Oh, I'm start snorting. Oh, we'll wait till you're done. It's so exciting. We're losing our breath.
I don't know why he does that.
A lot
Do you?
of the it's called brachiocephalus face when they're pushed in a little bit. His certainly isn't pushed in as much as others. My Boston Terrier does that. No. So you're gonna have. I thought about it. There he goes. And you see him. He starts to tuck his legs under. I'm gonna try for a third, but it might be too much. Ooh, so close, Jackie. So close. What do you think? Are there other foods that he likes besides cheese that you've been able to identify?
Mm-hmm. He likes steak.
Oh, good. All right, that's fine. So all those scraps that you usually give him at night, see how he's jumping up? Yeah. He's trying to get it, and that's not going to work for him. So the consequence is the food will go away. I want him to put his butt on the floor. He's getting a little more grabby with the food, but not too bad. Come on. You're gonna just come closer. Good boy. Good boy. Darn, what did I do last time that I got that big piece? So jumping is a big behavior that he does, right? He jumps all over the place. So he's going to try that. I haven't seen him sit since I've been here. I've seen him stand and lie down and jump. His paw goes up. That's all I'm thinking. He's going to be tired after we're done. Can we do one more? We'll add to the stash of cheese.
Almost.
I know, I know. So when you're doing this, don't give up and say, "Oh, that was so close," and then give him the cheese, because you will be reinforcing the wrong behavior.
Okay.
You'll be reinforcing something other than sit. And this is just basic. And once he understands this, you'll over time you're going to start to see a different dog, because we can communicate with him. We can ask him to do something else. We can ask him to sit at the door. Right now, all we have at our disposal is management. Come here. What kind of crate were you guys using? Was it a metal crate? And
No. Plastic, the regular dog crate, yeah.
And when you put him in it, did he just bark and carry on? Did he break teeth? Did he try to do self?
No, he
just digging at it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he was crated when he first came here.
Okay.
Then once Molly left and Amber left, because Amber left shortly after Molly died.
Then you stopped using it?
Yeah, I tried it in my room. It didn't really go there. Mm-hmm. And so he chose chose to sleep with me.
Okay.
And it was his choice, because
Right.
he had the crate there. And that's where he was sleeping, was in the crate.
Right. But it was his choice to sleep with you. It wasn't your choice to have him sleep with you.
That was his choice.
Right. So do you see the pattern that he's making all the choices?
No.
He chose where to sleep instead of you saying, "Oh, yeah, I'd like him to sleep with me. Why don't you come up here?" So that's what has to change, is he has to stop making so many decisions around here. Okay. So I'm going to give this to you, and I want to just, Bob, have you just go through the motions like I was. He may not sit it for us again. Hold it right on his nose so he can lick and sniff it. And your job, yep. So lower it, lower it, lower your hand, yep. And come back up over his head again. Yes, perfect. Your hand motion is perfect. He's going to have to try to figure it out. Yep, so keep bringing his head up over his back. You were trying to sort of tip him so that it's, yeah. Oh, that was very close. So he starts, and it's hard for you to see, but he actually starts to squat in the back end, and then he jumps. So we just have to keep persevering, keep the food right on his nose so he doesn't have to jump for it. Good. And bring it back sort of towards his forehead. Yep, keep trying. So backing up is a choice he has too, but that's not going to get him anything. Okay, your hand and everything is perfect. The way you're moving it, the way you're moving it back over his forehead. And again, when he's hungry and he really wants to eat, he'll be a little more, so keep your hand low now. Don't let him lick while he's up on you. There you go. He'll be a little more inclined to continue to sort of think about what it is that we're asking. Very close. Oh, there it is. There it is. Good. Give it to him. The whole thing. Put it right in his mouth. Yay, good boy.
Good
because
boy,
he's sitting.
Jack.
Good.
Good boy.
Good boy. Perfect.
Good boy.
So, okay, so Mary, I'm going to have you give it a try. So he's just going to get little tiny pieces. Yep, let him lick and sniff it, and you're going to tip his head back over his body. Ooh, very close. Slowly. He can lick and sniff slowly. Yep, keep your hand low. So he's going to try jumping, right, because jumping works. And now we're saying it's not going to. Yep, tip his head up. Slow, very slow. Just let him kind of squeeze some of the cheese out through your fingers. So, yep, little tiny bits. Good. Very close. So he backed up again. So he's trying, right? The jumping is his attempt. Does this work? And the answer is nope, that doesn't work. Backing up is another behavior. Well, that doesn't work either. Yep, so bring it, kind of just tease him a little bit to get him to come closer to you. Come on, Jack. Just talk to him, Mary.
Yeah, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now tip his head up, slowly. Very slowly. Very slowly. He's thinking about it. There goes his butt. Oh, so close. Keep your hand down just a little bit more.
Yeah, that's a cat.
No. Little pieces. Don't give him too much. Don't give him too much. Tip his head up. Yep. And back slowly. Very slowly. Yep. Keep trying one more. Oh, he's so close. Yep. So just because he's backing up, you have to kind of keep luring him back forward a little bit. Yep. Try again. So keep tipping his head up. Slow. Yep. Let him lick that. Nope. Put your hand back down. Yep. Slowly up over his head. Right there. Yep. Slowly. Okay. So let's just call him to you so that he'll come closer. Right. Now be very deliberate in your hand motion. Up over his head. Slow. Okay. That's more of a spin. Yep. So raise his head up and then back. Up. And when he gets out of your reach, yep, just ask him to come forward. Good. And then start again right there. So he raises his paw.
Okay.
Yep. Good. Yep, up over his head, close. There, that's a better position. Yep. We may not get another one out of him. So don't worry about if he backs up. Just keep your hand coming up slowly. Can you do the food this way so that you can instead of having sort of the back of your hand coming over his head? Yes, like that. That's very good. Yep, slowly, slowly. Yep, he's twisting. But sitting would be so difficult, Jack. That's perfect, Mary. That's perfect. Keep your hand nice and low. Let him just eat that little bit. Yep. That's right. But he was all in the right position. He's standing. His head is up. That's fine. He's not jumping. He's not backing up.
Persistent.
Yep. Wait till he's done, then try again. Okay. Let's give that a break a second because I want to go on and show you a few other things. All right. So you guys have to practice the sits with him. If he's practicing all this jumping and lunging and stuff every day, if you can practice 2 or 3 times to get him to sit a day to start with, as soon as he starts to understand that the butt hitting the floor is what's going to get him the jackpot, and be sure you have a good wad of cheese in your hand. You can't start with just one little nugget that he licks, and then when he actually sits, you don't have anything to give him, or he won't ever understand what we're asking him to do, okay? Space is important to dogs, right? And it's important to people too. If I walk in and sit too close to you or stand too close to you, you're naturally going to sort of take a step away and you're going to wonder, what is this woman's problem? Why does she have to be in my space? Right. He's always in our space. Like, he thinks nothing of just catapulting and racing across. And again, he's a little dog, so I have a little dog. They tend to get away with stuff, but my little dog isn't biting people, and he is. So he can't get away with that kind of stuff. Okay, which is why I've put him on a leash. Just, it's a basic thing. So body blocking is where you're going to take up his space. I'm not going to step on him. See how I make him back up? And I'm going to do it again. When he yields to my space, I stop, and I can actually step away from him so that, excuse me, I take that pressure off. So as I walk into him, I apply pressure. And when he yields to that pressure, then I can take the pressure off, which is part of his reinforcement right there. I stop, good boy, and it gets him to look at me. I could reinforce him for that if I wanted to. Sometimes dogs will sit, although he doesn't have that in his behavior repertoire, so he's not offering it. So one of the things that you're going to do, and we're going to have to see how I do this dance with him? Good boy. He's like, what is this lady doing? So, good boy. When he looks up, I can give him a piece of cheese. So I'd rather him be looking up at me. We're done with cheese? Good boy. No.
You see there's a piece on the floor behind you, and he sees that.
That one first.
No, he wants his.
He wants his gift.
He wants his. He wants the moose. That's what he wants. Good boy. So he's very sensitive to that. Okay. So Bob, I want you to stand up and body block him as well. And I'm just using the leash to control him a little bit so he can't go racing around and do whatever he wants to do. So just walk right in. Yes. Yes. Good. Very good. And then stop. Once he's good. And release the leash pressure so you're sure that you're I want you to be able to hold him there with your body, not the leash is just to help us get the idea going. So go ahead, try that again. And it's a process of walking into him. Yes. Very good. Oop, oop, come around, come around. Get us. Yep. Good. Walk into him one more time so he backs up and yields from your space. He's going to try to get on the couch. Yes. Up. Good. He's like, what is happening? This lady comes and now I can't do anything. That was very good. Mary, let's have you give that a try. So it's not just the sideways shuffle. You actually have to step into his space. Okay? Yes. Yes. Don't worry about it. He needs to back up away from you. Good. So I like this, right? Are you guys, like, would this be good for you?
That's good.
Yeah.
If you were sitting, like, I don't know what your normal nighttime, but if you were sitting here watching the news and he came and just laid down next to you, would that be, would you feel good about that, or would you feel sorry for him?
No, that's good. And
Okay.
he usually does that at night when he's waiting for supper.
Okay,
sits
but
patiently.
right, because he has learned that sitting patiently gets him supper.
Right.
But normally, if you're sitting here watching TV, is he kind of a maniac?
Yeah.
Right. So these are the things that I want you to do. You're going to feed him in the morning, 30 minutes. I don't care who does it, but you're going to pick the food up for the rest of the day. Feed him again in the evening, 30 minutes tops. If you want to put things in it, I don't care what you do with it, but just do it once, okay? You're going to at least train him. I would like to see you get him to do 3 sits a day, which right now is going to take some time because he doesn't understand what we're asking. But once he gets it, you're going to start to see a little light bulb go and go, ow, boom, butt on the floor, I get the cheese. Butt on the floor, I get the steak. I get this. This behavior has a consequence, and the consequence is I get paid big time for that, okay? Once he has the sit, then we'll work on the down, but we can't get the down until we get the sit. And once he starts to understand this learning process, and just so everybody's clear, he only has a leash attached. I've not asked him to lie down. I've done nothing but control his sort of franticness, okay? I would also like to teach him a leave it, so that you could say leave it potentially from the cat. It might work for car chasing, but for car chasing I would probably use classical conditioning with him. I would love to see you guys get the crate back out. If you feel like, now the plastic Very kennel, sometimes dogs prefer a wire crate. So you might want to experiment, see if you can buy a wire crate on the condition that it could be returned if there was no difference in him. But a crate will give him a safe place. We can lure him in the crate with high value food. He can be fed in the crate so that he just starts to go to the crate naturally, right? When I start to get out bags of treats, all the dogs in my house, boom, crate, because they always get food in the crate. And they're like, yep, I like being in here.
When he got neutered, he was in Donna Howard had given me she'd let me use a wire crate for him to stay in while he was.
Was he better?
That's a big crate.
Yeah, it was a big one. Yeah.
Okay. You can continue to use the.
I don't know if he was better because we didn't crate him before that. So
Right. So just think about it. You can certainly use the bedroom, the bathroom, like you have been. People come to the door. He needs to go away right now. We talked about body blocking him from the door, but my concern is with this intense redirection that he has and this intense barrier. It's a lot of barrier frustration. I can see the thing, but I can't get there. Just as if you've been calling to Bob, 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 and then 10 minutes later, it's like, Bob, right? You've sort of built up the frustration. But even the tone of my voice is going to
very sensitive to the tone of your voice.
Right, will overstimulate him. Movement overstimulates him. Visual things overstimulate him. I want to see you with a leash on. You're just going to go down someplace, buy some cheap leash, and you're just going to keep it on him so that when you want to sit down, he's just going to chill out with you. And you're not going to allow all this frantic behavior to happen, okay? Once he has some behaviors, my suggestion would be then we start to teach him to do other things at the door. When you're walking him, I want you to walk with a cheese stick. And when he alerts, I see the car, you're going to feed him the whole time the car goes by. That's associative learning that we're using. Okay? Mm-hmm. He doesn't need to do anything. He doesn't need to sit. He doesn't need to do anything. All he needs to do is see the car, and then you're going to feed him, and the car goes by, you stop feeding him. And he may start to look at you in anticipation, which is perfect. Then we would change to operant, teaching him a behavior, look at me when the car goes by. But that's all that overstimulation thing. If you can increase your distance from the car, certainly do that. There is another Doggy Dilemma episode. It's another dog named Jack, funny enough, and we did the whole thing on car chasing because he chases cars. So if you look at my website and find that one, it'll show you exactly, and he's a terror. He was a terror. Do you guys have any questions before we wrap up? There's a lot. I've given you a lot of information, and there's a lot more that has to happen with him.
Right.
But just this little thing is already making a big difference in his calmness and the little bit of work that we've done today. So any questions?
No, I don't think so. The way he is now.
Yeah.
No kitchen counter.
Okay.
No kitchen counter. You need to ask yourself, who made the decision? And if you feel like Jack made the decision to get on the chair, he's going to still try, right? When you're in the kitchen, he is going to be jumping on you or the cabinets just like he always has, but you're going to body block him away now. You can say no. you can just body block him away. He's going to be shocked. He's going to look at you and say, what? I can't do that anymore? And you're going to be like, no, Denise said you can't. Then you can't.
Now, is that saying that, like at nighttime when I come home from work, that I shouldn't allow him to sit up on the chair with me?
I would invite him up on the chair with you.
You would
I would
invite
put him on a leash. Yeah.
Okay.
And make him
'cause
wait.
He comes up no matter what.
Right, now he did. Now he does, but he doesn't have to. Right, and that whole thing that he's growling and potentially biting Mary because she can't even approach you if he's sitting on the chair with you, then he doesn't deserve to be on the chair with you until he can behave better.
Okay.
All right. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Doggy Dilemmas. I look forward to seeing you next week.
If you have a doggy dilemma, Denise can help. Visit www.denisemazzola.com for more information. Denise Mazzola is a certified professional dog trainer tested through the Association of Pet Dog Trainers. The association requires recertification every 3 years with a minimum of 30 hours of continuing education. She has been training dogs and working with families for over 20 years.